Hello, hello, and we are live for the daily transmission. It is Friday, March 17th, 2023. Say hello when you arrive. We are here on Instagram and we are here on Twitch. And if you're watching the replay, hello in the future. You're watching this probably on Instagram, but maybe also YouTube or Spotify. So thank you so much for wherever you're tuning in from, whenever you're tuning in from. Your energy is appreciated. I have a lot of things to do today, so I may keep this transmission fairly succinct, but who knows, sometimes I can just start talking. So yeah, I have YTT this weekend. It's my second weekend for my yoga teacher training. I am so excited to go see my friends and learn some new stuff. So anyway, with that said, usually I do some writing over the weekend, and we've got so many things going on between now and like Tuesday. And even like through the week, like there are just so many bigger events that I would like to write about. And just simply, where is the time? I'm going to find the time today, especially because next week we are starting my incubator program, the spring incubator program, Audacity to Ascend. We have just one spot left. And if you would like to take that spot, send me a DM, or you can tap the link either in the description or in my bio, because I'm sure that that information is there, unless you're watching this like a week from now, in which case I'm so sorry. You're going to have to wait until another round. But we are going to be going into the gene keys. You know, I was going to talk about Pluto today because we have a big Pluto transit coming up, but there'll be time to talk about Pluto. He's taking his time. It's no rush. I think that I'm being called to talk about the next gene key that will be activated. So the reason I feel specifically called to talk about this is because, as I mentioned, we are going to be really going into a deep dive into the gene keys during my incubator program. And for people who are unfamiliar with the gene keys, it's broken down into 3 segments. And so that's why it's a 3-month incubator. Our first month, we are going to be talking about what's called your activation sequence or your genius sequence. So this is a really great way to just like get in touch with yourself, to get in touch with your purpose and the challenges that you're ordinarily going to face or like regularly going to face, and what it is that like captivates other people. Like what about your energy is just like kind of energy, you know? And so then we move into the Venus sequence. Now, the Venus sequence is exactly what it sounds like. It's all about love. And so with the Venus sequence, there are a whole bunch of, it's this whole, you know, we call it a sequence because it's like, it's a pathway, and you go one sphere at a time. And with the Venus sequence, I find this one particularly compelling because it breaks down different wounding patterns that may have come up at different times in your life, and even down to like when you were in the womb. And so the reason I bring that up, and of course, then there's the third sequence, which is the prosperity sequence. The prosperity sequence is all about being of contribution, right? So being of service and living a prosperous life. So yes, there is an element of vocation in there, whether you are a business owner, whether you are someone who works for others, irrelevant. It's about finding the essence of what it is about you that is of high service and is going to be like highly valued by other people, because it's when, you know, you can do anything. Like, let me be clear, as a human being, as like an incredible, capable, highly creative human being, you can do anything. And there is a difference between being capable of doing something and it being like easy, it being soul-led, it being something that is just like coming out of your pores. Like, I can create YouTube videos, like really cool, like edited videos. Oh, It just does not. It takes the life out of me. What can I do? Like, what doesn't take the life out of me? I mean, I feel like I've written so much on Substack since I finally just let myself like, you know what, I'm just going to write. Because that's what's easy for me. And so that's just like the how. But anyway, I wanted to come in here because we are going to have the sun move into the 25th gene key on Sunday. On Sunday. Hey, hi, Janny. So I love the 25th gene key. I feel like we all should love the 25th gene key, but particularly I've done a lot of reading on the 25th gene key because as I mentioned, right, we've got the gene key sequences, they go together, right? So you go from the activation sequence into the Venus sequence and from the Venus sequence into your prosperity sequence. And so some of the placements you'll notice fold into, like, they are part of more than one sequence. And so the part of your sequence that goes from the Venus to the prosperity, this placement is called your core wound. You may also, that's in the Venus sequence. The core wound is from like in the womb, right? So this would be like your natal period. And then when it goes into your prosperity sequence or your pearl sequence, it's called your vocation. Now, I think this is so interesting because in a different context, because I haven't used this placement when I've been like coaching other people on business, but I use a similar like ideology when we talk about Chiron, which if you want to learn about your Chiron, I just posted an incredible post about, wow, my words today. I just posted a really great post about Chiron on my Substack. The link is everywhere. And what I was saying in that is that, you know, it's the wounded healer. And so as you heal this wounding pattern, you're going to naturally attract people who have watched that happen, who are like, wow, you used to be like this and now you're like this. Can you please help me? And so it's a similar energy that we get here when we're talking about the core wound or your vocation in your gene key sequences. And so with the sun moving into 25, this is my like core wound and vocation. So it is a lot of what it is that I have learned and grown through and learned how to help y'all with. Oh my God, it is so fucked up. I feel so called out sometimes when I read this book because, so this isn't the regular gene key book. This is the 64 ways. Not one is not necessarily better than the other. It's just that I've done so much reading in the regular gene keys book, which is like your basic like text, that this just feels, it feels refreshing. It feels more like the way that I would have written the gene keys if I were to be writing this. And so, yeah, it just speaks to me. But he points out, he uses these like keywords because the keywords, different from human design, which are literally just there to like define you and point out the shadow and like, haha, look at you fucking not being a perfect being. Okay, got it, ouch. The gene keys are here to help you recognize your shadow, love yourself, embrace yourself, and grow through it. And so he uses it's a pathway. And so we call it the way of. And so this is the way of acceptance, gene key 25. The sun is moving here on Sunday. And so you can expect from Sunday through like Thursday for this to be a theme that we are all sort of feeling into. Now, the way goes from the shadow to the siddhi, which is like the enlightened form of the gene. And so we've got the way of acceptance goes from constriction to universal love. Now, that word is so interesting to me that this is what's here, because this is not something that's necessarily like, I don't feel like that. I don't know, maybe I just need to go back and read my original gene key book, but I feel like that word did not jump out at me as much as it does here And it's because I hear the word now, I guess, all the time, because that is the word that you use to describe Ujjayi pranayama, right? So it's like the oceanic, like breathing. It's a constriction in your throat, and you're breathing in and you're breathing out through the nose, and you kind of hear it in the back of your throat. It's called like ocean breath, or people say it like sounds kind of like Darth Vader, right? And so I don't know. But that constriction, right? So many times we're like white knuckling life, and we are so in tunnel vision. I was just saying this to a client yesterday, and this is not like any particular, like, you are in charge of your own reality. But like, I think that there are a lot of people right now who think that they are incapable, like that they are, I don't want to like, I don't know. Basically, I think that there are a lot of people who think that they have like concentration problems, or like that they are potentially like neurodivergent. And I think that they are just in survival mode, trying to cope with the amount of information that is constantly around you. Whether that is true for you or not is not up to anyone but you to understand. And you'll know it when you learn how to relax your nervous system, because that's really the difference. But the way that you know, right, the way that you're able to, so many times it's like you can't even see the other information that's going on around you or notice your body, because you are in fight or flight. You are in survival mode. You are just like trying to get through the fucking day, right? And so how, like, the shadows are the shadows, but the dilemma that we point out in the gene key is here to point out when you're in the shadow. Okay. So the shadow is constriction, and the dilemma is anxiety. And I will tell you, I have been having this conversation with my fiance this week, that I feel that that is ultimately like my greatest gift to people, is that I help you with inner peace. And inner peace is the like opposite of anxiety, right? That I help you to manage your own feelings, and to learn how to see the world differently, and to learn how to see yourself differently, and to empower you more. Okay. So literally, I just love pointing this out, y'all, because this is what's available. Like, this is what I'm trying to, if you're feeling like, oh my gosh, I just don't understand myself. I don't know who I am. I don't know what my purpose is. I don't know how to give myself back to the community. I don't know how to be of service and be of high purpose. And when we're of high purpose, we feel prosperous, and thus we are like light, and we are attractive, and we attract good opportunities, and we attract opportunities, and we can like manage ourselves in them better. We can make better decisions. Okay. So that's anyway. So we go from anxiety, or we go from constriction, and we're moving to universal love. Universal love. First of all, ouch, my core wound is universal love. But cool, my vocation is universal love, right? It's this thing that I get to give back to people, this love that I was so sorely lacking for such a long time. I give it to other people, and then I experience that love, like, and I am an experience of love. Y'all, the biggest dilemma with anxiety is that we cannot think our way out of it. Goodbye, that's enough transmission today. But seriously, there are so many people who think that they can engineer or plan or strategize, and I mean, I love how the progression of the gene keys works, because right now the sun is still activating 36, and 36 is the way of humanity, which is really recognizing, hey, I know that you are like afraid of things, you're overwhelmed by life, and it's really out of a fear of, your safety coming into question. But like, I hate to break it to you, but you are going to die. It is one of the things that makes you human and alive. And so if we know that that's something that we're going to experience, and we know that that fear, that anxiety, that overwhelm lives in other people every day, and that gives them this feeling of anxiety and constriction and needing to plan and strategize and figure everything out. And oh my gosh, they're right. I use that like white knuckling life because that's just really what the shadows of these genes feel like. And so I would encourage you between now and Sunday, because Sunday is when the sun moves into the 25th gene, to start contemplating on where it is you feel like you are not receiving the love or appreciation that you're looking for. And it doesn't matter like what area of your life. There's no particular like any and all, you know. I like to break it down by like my physical, right? Like my physical life, my mental and emotional wellness, my spiritual life, my social life, my vocational life, right? And so really just like evaluate on a scale of 1 to 10, how satisfied am I in each of these areas of my life? How much do I feel love and appreciation? Where do I feel like I'm trying to control situations? And can I be an embodiment of what it is that I'd like to receive? If you can be an expression of love, then you are love. You get love because you are it. That's some real hippy dippy shit, y'all, I guess. But yeah, I love y'all so much. I'm really looking forward to another weekend of yoga teacher training and getting to get more of these threads that just connect at all. It is so fascinating to me to see how much the breath work and yoga and all of this like goes directly into like not thinking about who I am and not like trying to figure out who I am, but embodying who I am and then getting to see that reflected in the gene keys, in my relationships with everybody around me, in my everyday experience. And y'all, I hope like if I can give you anything, if you like tune into the daily transmission and you're here for anything in particular, first of all, I hope that you get that thing that you're looking for, but mostly what I hope that you're getting is some inner peace, some relief from that anxiety, and some recognition that you are more in control than you think. Yeah. So I love you so, so much. I have a bunch of writing to do, lots of studying to do. So like I said, I think we're going to cut it short today. Mercury also moves into Aries this weekend, which I feel like is important to mention. We're going to have a very full Monday morning. So please tune in for the daily transmission on Monday morning. However, if you want to get into the incubator, it's got to be today or over the weekend. By Monday, doors are closed. You cannot get in. We are starting the program. So if you have been like on the fence, if you've been waiting, if you've been like seeing if it's going to sell out or whatever, there's one spot left. It's got your name on it. Go to the link in my bio and sign up. If you have any questions, send me the DM. Okay. And I will catch y'all on Monday. Love y'all so much. I hope you have a beautiful weekend. Make good choices and be the love that you want to receive.